कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen yaar, don't be so conservative. All right, the podcast has to start now. We can't waste time waiting for Abbas and that stupid Silvery. बेकार लोग जो काम करते हैं हमारे लिए, sir. I can't have a big man like you waiting. And in fact, that car is honking, so we have to move. So मैंने टका-टक put it in drive. I put it in drive, and I will now start.
Oh, it won't create any
issue.
sound, so be careful.
Sir, इसकी मैं indicator का I am learning.
हाँ, it's the other way around. This is right. इधर से up करेगा तो
right. तो मैंने क्या किया?
ठीक किया.
Correct किया या नहीं?
Correct.
Learning from the master himself. If you're wondering who's sitting in the car with me and I'm taking instructions, he's not my driving instructor, but he is older than me. गिन के बताया मैंने. He's 5 to 6 months older than me. I won't tell you the age because neither of us are interested in.
Same year, but right?
Same year. It is. I'll give a hint. It's the year Bangladesh was created. But
we were created.
We are created, yes, in a way. But we were not separated from mainland. We are very much part of it.
Yeah, very much.
हाँ जी. तो सर लेट्स स्टार्ट फर्स्ट. ही सेड नॉट टू कॉल हिम सर, बट आई एम सेइंग सर आउट ऑफ लव यार. तो आप तो दिल्ली का है, तो दिल्ली में तो सर तो बोलते हैं सब लोग.
हां, नहीं चलता है.
उसमें कुछ
कॉल मी ज्योति, आई विल बी मोर कंफर्टेबल.
सर उसके रिस्पेक्ट के बारे नहीं है, बिकॉज़ आई थिंक सर जी रिस्पेक्ट होता है, सर से कुछ नहीं होता है. अगर जी
हां तो जी तो फिर सरकास्टिक हो जाता है.
आप ऐसा फील करते हैं?
नहीं
एक्चुअली वो मेकिंग सेंस, बिकॉज़ वो तो मुझे सर जी बुलाते हैं. देखा, कम ऑन व्हाट इज रॉन्ग विद यू, वॉक फास्टर अंकल. मैं एसी फुल करके चलाते हैं बिकॉज़ देन दे कांट.
इधर इसलिए मैंने इधर
आपने
24 किया.
पीआर भी एक चीज है लाइफ में. यू आर द हेड ऑफ अ ह्यूज कंपनी. या लेट मी इंट्रोड्यूस यू, head of Volvo, the man himself is Jyoti Malhotra. I think, what is the right term? CEO? Yeah.
MD,
managing director. तो क्या डिफरेंस क्या है CEO और मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर में? One and the same thing, no?
Yeah, but titles are titles. You have to respect that, whatever you are called.
जैसे मैंने कहा ना, सर और सर जी में फर्क होता है. हाँ. And then you pointed out कि सर जी is actually a joke. So I'll never use that again. ठीक है. So Jyoti, before we start talking about the car for a second, you grew up in Delhi, Bombay. Where did you grow up in?
I grew up in Delhi, but I have lived all across India.
Oh.
I have lived in Cochin, I have lived in Chandigarh, I have lived in Bombay.
Wow, you're pakka Hindustani in that sense.
Yeah. I have been. I think I have traveled all across the country. There are hardly any places, maybe some places northeast where I may not have gone, but I have been all around.
But now, thanks to the Volvo, you can actually go anywhere in India by road. There's nothing to worry about.
Yes, absolutely.
Actually, these cops, they're all my fans. Just wave to them, yaar. They love it when you do. Stand up. देखा.
You have a huge fan following.
नहीं, वो पहचानते भी नहीं. अगर पहचानते तो it'll be go straight into lockup. Please understand. No, I'm asking that question because coming back to Mumbai, is it nostalgia for you? I know you're on a whistle stop tour, you've got a lot of work, etc. But आपको कुछ happy memories the moment you land? Some cities you have that, na? You come and you always feel good.
I think Mumbai is a very nice place. I remember when I first came in, I was a bit nervous moving from Delhi to a place like Mumbai, big town, bigger than, and you know, Delhi, Mumbai are two different worlds. Right. Everybody tells you. But when I came in here, I realized actually it's one of the best places if you're educated and social. No place better. I had a really good time here. The other thing people tell you, and I remember that very fondly, is that people say your life in Mumbai is as good or as bad as your society where you live in. Fortunately, I was in a very Cosmo sort of a setup.
कहाँ पे?
I was in Kandivali. I used to work in a different company. Wow. My office was just there. And it was like dream come true for me, almost walking distance going to office.
That's a fantastic point. That you don't have to commute in Mumbai because your feeling for the city changes when you do long commutes.
Exactly. And I remember I was told, and I used to go to the town, as people call it here, on Friday evenings. Everybody was coming back, and I used to head to, when I had to take my kids there, and always go to a beach here on Sunday morning. Sunday mornings feel like it's curfew in Mumbai. Sunday early morning 6:30.
I feel like वो beach का culture भी चला गया. I don't know.
But I had at that time younger kids, so they wanted to go. I used to take them whenever I would go on Sunday morning. Best time to travel.
Jyoti, I'd take my kids also to the beach, but I would try to get rid of them. I'd leave them there and run away. But unfortunately, they kept following me, and they're still with us. But let's just trace your career for a second. So you started, firstly, this is a Swedish company, right?
This is a Swedish company, yes.
Yeah. And it's amazing you live in a country. Do you speak any Swedish?
No, I don't.
क्या बात है?
I don't speak any Swedish. I understand a little few words here and there.
Huh.
Like welcome, they call welcome. So it's quite similar actually, not difficult.
What about Gali?
Oh, I've not picked up any.
सबसे important चीज वही है यार. How can you attend a meeting and not understand what he's saying to you?
All meetings happen in English, so you don't know opportunity to.
And numbers have another language.
Swedish.
Numbers is more important than anything
Numbers.
else.
The meetings are always about numbers and bottom lines and top lines and things like that.
So just tracing your career for a second. So let's go back. How did you enter the Volvo Stratosphere?
Okay, so I joined Volvo something like 6 years back, and I was actually that time working in Mumbai. And for some reason, I wanted to move back to Delhi for personal reasons. And I was looking for some opportunity to move back to Delhi. I was doing very well here in Mumbai and I was very settled. And I thought I will never move back from Mumbai. But for personal reasons, I had to. So I was looking out. And then this opportunity came in. Someone called me that, okay, there's an opening in Volvo for that time for a director of sales and marketing. And I was a little apprehensive. I said, Volvo 6 years back, nobody had. People always associated Volvo with buses, luxury buses, and
that's true.
Nobody.
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Yeah, so nobody at that
Yaad
time.
dilaya abhi. Why did you say it?
No, but that's the reality. 6 years back, it was like that. Not now anymore. I can say that with confidence, and that's why I was a little apprehensive. But then I think it will be nice to work for Swedish company. It was actually a very employee-friendly company, very people-centric company.
But where were you coming from?
I was working in Mahindra and Mahindra. So from Mahindra moved to Volvo, and Mahindra is also a very good company, and I think, as I said, I was doing very well. But for personal reason, I decided to move to Delhi, and I think Volvo gave that opportunity, and then I said, okay, let me get into this. So, but I think it has been a really good move, I would say. It has been very fruitful, great learning, and a great experience.
Plus you got Delhi.
Plus I got Delhi, yes.
अच्छा ये तो रेड लाइट है आगे अपनी गाड़ी है but it's supposed to be shooting us from front. They broke the red light. I'm putting it on the podcast live that this is the
they
truth.
Should be fined.
They have to be fined. Yes. I'll get the number. I'll say it loud once we find them.
Yeah.
I'll give the number to the police also. I believe in supporting law. Whatever happens,
we should always.
Except when it comes to getting into colleges, then you should be allowed to bribe. It's impossible otherwise. So coming back to your life then, so what are the challenges for you when you entered Volvo? Before we come to the electric car segment and all.
Right.
Because we're looking back at that point when you must have had a different set of challenges initially, right?
Exactly. As I said, I think the first thing when I came in and I was head of sales and marketing was that whenever you talk to anyone about Volvo, first thing which comes to their mind is Volvo buses, luxury buses, fine, but buses. So how do you break that mindset? Because Volvo buses have been here in India for a very long time, and they were the first decent buses which people actually saw and grew up on. From there to move into, and I think to bring this change that people can perceive as a luxury car brand who is serious and who is like a serious, I would say, option to our German friends. And I think,
नाम नहीं ले सकते. Voldemort के जैसा है. You can't take the name. I like that. So this is great fun. This is a challenge now because my Kida mind is so bad, and I'm just trying to say the name. बाकी का episode is please don't say the name. Please don't say the name.
No, that's okay. So I think now when it comes to consideration, I think Volvo is now very well known. We are amongst the choices when customers decide to buy a luxury car. Volvo has started to become a natural choice. So that was, I think, one of the biggest challenges to ensure that people recall your name. See, even if you don't recall a name, how can you expect them to come and buy? So I think that was, I would say, the biggest challenge. The second was that I think our network in India, see, the reach, as you call, the dealer network was also not exactly in place. So it was to be
sort of modesty की बात क्यों है इसमें? It was not in place and you changed it. There was no question.
No, I didn't change it, but I think it was required. We needed to sort of give it a good shape.
Tribute episode for you.
And
we have to do tarif only. That's the brief.
No, that's okay. Don't need to do whatever. I think let's talk.
No, but there are people who are following this conversation who are from the industry and they will know exactly what happened. So it's not like not presenting the truth.
Yeah. So I think that needed a change, and I think again it is not just me. I think the whole team came together and we decided that I think we need to give it a proper shape.
Sorry to let's just quickly give galis now because let's see Delhi versus Mumbai. I think it's not going down.
दोनों एक साथ कर रहे तो नहीं जाएगा.
अच्छा कर लो.
आपने रेड लाइट ब्रेक किया पीछे.
येड़ा
रेड लाइट ब्रेक किया पीछे.
ओ पंजाबी दे दो उसको. साले. Achha, so this is a good point that happened now. I tried to open the window and at the same time as you, and you can't about it at the same time.
Then it won't work.
Okay, this is good. This is like a safety feature.
Yeah, it is.
I tell you, when it comes to Europeans and how they think about all these little things, because I think apna side of the world, you're just the majburi being what it is. These don't occur to you.
Exactly.
But as India advances, I think small things are very important. You start realizing. Like windows being under control, door being under control.
Absolutely. And talking about Mumbai, I'll tell you, I am reminded when I was in that dilemma whether I should join Volvo or not.
Huh.
On this very road, on the other side, when I was coming
Kya baat
here,
hai?
there was this big, huge billboard here.
Huh.
Very big. It's not there anymore. I don't know, maybe it was somewhere down the road there.
Huh.
And there was a big XC90 billboard there and said,
What
it's
are
a
you
sign
saying?
from up.
Kya
This is
baat hai?
telling me I should join. This is true.
I'm getting goosebumps listening to you.
One of these bigger ones was like standing out and Volvo XC90 as if inviting me. And I said, okay, let me.
Wow. Let's stop
This
for a
is
second.
sign. Yeah.
We'll get one guy to join us in the car and we'll just take in the area. This is the area, ladies and gentlemen. This is like where Amitabh Bachchan got injured in Coolie and the movie stops there. This is exactly the point where I think Jyoti had this, what is the word, epiphany in English, whether to join or not. And he saw the, like a sign
big
from,
billboard,
from
yeah.
above
And
with Volvo
I said,
written on
this
it.
is telling me. And I was coming back thinking about this and I then see a real big billboard. And I said, okay, this is a sign.
It's just an amazing point, no? That super educated guys like yourself, high achievers, I mean, if one traces your career, etc., even you will take these signs which cannot be explained. An emotional moment. But for me, I love these stories. These are stories that make humanity worthwhile.
Exactly. We are all humans. And
You're not human. This way you connect with someone, no? Because your career could have gone another way, your life could have turned. You may not have gone to
Absolutely.
Delhi for God's sake. You
Yeah,
could have been somewhere else.
Absolutely.
So imagine what, and it's just unbelievable that 10,000 for people outside Mumbai, there are 10,000 hoardings here. I'm not kidding you. Maybe if you see it later in some other podcast of ours, you'll see them. What are the chances that one would be a Volvo at a point when he's tinkering with his life's most important decision? All brought to you live by us as we come close to our lead car. I'm driving a little slowly, sir.
Yeah, please.
In a sense, I'm
Enjoy
wasting the
your drive.
Volvo because the power is so fantastic. I tried it. I have zoomed on it a little bit, but I'm not doing it yet because I want to make sure.
There are cameras there now.
नहीं वो camera एक बात है, and secondly, you're a very important person, and I don't want anything to happen to you if I suddenly डर गया थोड़ा बहुत.
नहीं.
Damn it. Coming back to the story. So now you go there. Before we jump to the electric thing, which of course is the whole idea of the car. When this happened, why was the car segments, the Volvo car segment for me, it's for a rich person, right? I mean, you're targeting what do you call it? A category, prime category?
Absolutely. These are, I think, as we call as, I think, luxury cars.
Luxury cars.
And for, yes, it is for privileged ones, I would say.
तो मैं चला सकते मगर यूनिफॉर्म पहन के.
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं.
नहीं.
But see, in India, the way things are, this is in that segment where I think overall, it's a very small segment within the bigger car industry. Luxury car itself, it's a very small.
Correct.
Even today.
No, but it's a small segment, but I would think middle class India and upper middle class India is growing quite fast, even though the recession is predicted all over the world.
Aspirations, I'll tell you, we were talking about it. When we were growing up, the aspiration was somehow to buy a car. Right. Now people, especially younger, very clear of their aspirations. Okay, I want to buy this car, this brand, by so and so age. So I think the aspirations are ultimately going to lead together with the growth in our economy, will ensure that this segment will grow. It's a matter of time. It's going to grow. And there's a sign of, I would say, the economy.
So that brings us to the most important point of our podcast, which is the electric green revolution, and which you all are, of course, headlining. And which why this car is here. The XC40
Recharge.
40 Recharge is very important. Let's get the name right. And Recharge tells you all about it. Because I want to ask you these questions. You're the man to answer it. So I went to Amsterdam just before COVID. Or 19 या 20 के early 20 में end 19 में, and I saw the electric revolution. I saw the cycles everywhere, electric stuff everywhere, and almost like a criminal charge for the guy driving the normal gari. Is that what's going to happen? Because everybody's talking about this, but somehow I'm worried about inventory of cars because सबके पास, not just you guys, but सबके पास इतना inventory है. How can they offload so many cars? I mean, what's going to happen?
No, I don't think the cars are going to go off-road. See, what will happen? Think it this way, there is already, as you said, a lot of cars running on road. They are not going to suddenly vanish. What will happen is the newer car, as we call it car park, the newer car park which keep getting added will be and is likely to be more tilted towards electric cars. So the more electric cars will keep adding on road and slowly these cars have their life. So over a period of time, initially, maybe for this year, let's say, I'm just saying example, let's say this year we sell 10% of electric car as a country. But as a car park of last 10-15 years, it's like less than even 1%. So electric will only that much, 99% will still be electric. Next year, we sell like maybe 15%. So over a period of time, 4-5 years, you will still see majority of them are going to still be electric cars, but the newer ones will become more and more electric. And hence, I think those cars will exist. But there is a clear shift happening when it comes to preferences to buy electric cars. And I can tell you, Cyrus, based on my own understanding, we have been thinking about this for a long time in Volvo. In India, 2 years back, people will just talk about it out of curiosity. They would like to know, acha, electric car hai, how much range does it have? Is it worthwhile even to buy and things like that. Now, it has changed to a situation of people ready to buy. people come and say which one to buy.
Correct.
I'm thinking of buying electric car. Should I buy this or this or that? So that's a big shift. And whether you look at two-wheelers or whether you look
Former
at
Miss India,
electric
former
cars,
Miss India is waving, sir. I'm just going to say hello. हाँ, हाँ.
are you sure?
हाँ, ठीक है. Try करते हैं. हाँ.
दिल को खुश कर लेते हैं.
फिर इनका.
So I think whether it is two-wheelers or whether it is cars, I think this will happen. And I believe in our segment, the adoption will be even faster. Why I say so? See, as I said, I think luxury car owners being privileged, what they have like average, maybe 3 cars in the family. So they are ready to adopt. They're ready to buy one out of their 3 cars to be electric.
I think that's exactly what I've noticed amongst my friends.
That will happen. It's already happening. They're ready to jump in and I think buy this car. And we have seen when we launched this car, we started taking pre-orders. I think there is a huge enthusiasm of customers coming forward, putting their money and buying the car. So it's happening. The revolution is happening.
And Jyoti, you have one great advantage you're not mentioning because you're too nice and polite. And that is, we are conjuice. Indians are conjuice. So while the world is thinking firstly about environment or atmosphere and world damage and global warming and all that, which is of course important and I think is going to be the main cheese. There's also second cheese about how can you keep up with the fuel rise? It's not like we can't. Most people are earning. You can still put the petrol in and the diesel in. But I remember when it reached $100, we took pictures and all.
Yeah.
And it became like a satire, like a real parody, taking pictures outside the fuel pump and showing 100 on the scale, like Tendulkar ka century banaya. I mean, it was ridiculous. And they were thinking, when I got my license in 89-90, it was 6 rupees in Mumbai. 6 rupees. My dad gave me $50 to fill the Maruti and I filled 8.5 liters and came back very happy.
Yeah.
That 6 rupees has become 115, 116 bucks. It became, it's just madness in so many years. So I just think that most Indians, I talk to my friends also, rich or poor, everybody has the same thing in both. We can't
so
live
I think
like this.
see, you're right. I think ultimately it's going to be a balance. People are shifting to buy electric cars because I think now the technologies come to a state where it makes economic sense as well. Few years back, it was not. Today, it makes economic sense.
Yeah.
Whether it is for how you're going to maintain this car versus...
So maintenance is much less, right?
Very less. See, because there are no mechanical parts. We don't need that sort of servicing in this car. And for us, when we are giving our XC40 Recharge, it comes with a pricing includes 3 years of maintenance service within that.
And we have got a maintenance worker in the car also you've kept at the back.
No.
So a special privilege है, सबको नहीं मिलेगा. You have to have influence for that. But yeah, lying in the back. No, but jokes apart, so you get people should think about this. Half the money or the kharch goes in the maintenance of cars over say a 10-year period. You're taking away 80% of that kharch almost.
Exactly. So if you look at the larger economics of buying a car now with the maintenance cost and running costs put together, I think electric cars are going to make sense. Obviously, the important thing is obviously the technology is costlier. This electric car is going to cost
initially
something
more.
Above as an initial price or as we call showroom price, a little higher than a typical IC engine car. But if it is, I would say, somewhere like 15-20% more, then over its age, 3-4 years, it will be better to buy electric car than a IC engine.
Such batao, sir. When you go forward here, you almost be adjusting the prices now as the market gets bigger. So should I wait 1 year and then buy?
No. I think to be very honest, it will go the other way around. That's how I say
that. I'm waiting.
No, I'll tell you. I'm being very honest with you. See, today there are a lot of support, whether it is on the GST or whether it is on road tax and registration.
Even buildings are giving support here. You get that.
And buildings are giving support. So there are supports which are available, which I think is basically because government, the society wants people to come and adopt these cars. They may go away. So I think right now is the right time. But probably I think what will really happen is as technology matures, the cost will go down, but then the taxes will go up. The subsidies will starting to go away. So the prices will, I think, maintain at this level only, more or less. That's my take on it.
I think we should, a few more incentives I'll come up with my creative brain, if you don't mind, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Why can't you say that you have like a lottery, or if jeet gaya to, maybe more than one person, they appear on Karan Johar's show, or they get to do commentary on T20 IPL matches.
With Harsha
Bhogle. Or they can do item number in this Rohit Shetty's latest film. Those kind of small things are very important.
I can put them in a car crash. We recently we did a XC40, not the Recharge, but the other XC40. We on a crane like this, like on 200 meters up.
Wow.
We dropped cars. I'll send you the link of that video. So you drop the car just to test the safety of the car of a dead drop.
And then what happens?
I'll put people inside to observe.
I'm buying it now. I'll go right.
वही मिलेगा, कुछ होएगा नहीं आपको.
गारंटी है. मैं रजिस्टर अभी करता, अभी.
Volvo खरीदेगा, गारंटी है, कुछ नहीं होएगा. You will be safe.
Yeah. Nobody actually sits in the car, right? When they do those crash tests or whatever it's called.
Yeah, there are dummies basically.
There are dummies.
And I think
And it's like the human body. You can see
they're
the
like
damage.
human bodies. And I think what we have done, and something very interesting, let me share with you.
Huh.
We did a project called E.V.A, E.V.A, Equal Vehicle for All.
Huh.
What we realized over a period of time, because Volvo has been researching about crash and accidents for last 40 years. How happens, what happens, that anatomy and all those things at the time of crash, with the one aim to save lives, right? So what we realized over a period of time, that all these dummies are based on a typical European male anatomy. So all the tests were being done for that.
Achha.
And Volvo then said, okay, no, I think we need to have equal vehicle for all, I would say races, males, females. So the anatomies are different. So this equal vehicle for all, what it does, we did then the research so that now we have exact data points of what happens if instead of a male, this test would have been done on a female, or instead of a typical European male, it would have done on, let's say, Japanese male. So the impacts are different. So then you design, yes. See, depending on you, me,
Weight,
or
height, size.
sabka alag alag hai. So I think we did that research, and then what we did, we sort of shared this data with all auto companies that, okay, you should use this data to design your cars. And this is something which I think, I don't know you heard about it or not, Volvo believes in sharing and sort of caring about when it comes to safety. So this seat belt, you know, what you are wearing, I am wearing. You know who invented this?
Mr. Belt?
Not Mr. Belt. It was some great engineer from Volvo. So this gentleman from Volvo, he was the one who invented this 3-point safety belt. It has saved more than 1 million lives so far. And believe me, Volvo decided not to patent it and just allowed every other car manufacturer to use it.
Unbelievable.
And similarly, this E.V.A looks very small, but this E.V.A, as I said, the whole data which we have created based on 40 years of research has been shared with all. It's open source available now.
I'm actually now choking with tears. I'm getting emotional because I can't believe they had such a winning combination which is worldwide necessary. To look at the market, you opened up 190 countries in one shot.
Exactly.
And you didn't patent it. I'm stunned. I grew up in Walkeshwar, Malba Hill, where these kind of things are a sin. We can't see the social benefit. We cannot understand your thinking, sir. I'm pagal ho gaya yahan pe, and I want to end my life. No, I'm just kidding. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back in a second or two with the one and only Jyoti Malhotra, who is the managing director of Volvo. अगर डिस्काउंट चाहिए तो मेरे को फोन कर. I'll talk to him. I'll use my influence.
आजकल डिस्काउंट नहीं चलता है, आजकल गाड़ी जल्दी चलता है तो.
अरे भाई जानते हो मेरा बाप कौन है? Okay, take a break. We'll be back. Okay, we're back after the break. Lamba break ke baad. Why not?
Yeah.
And I will now take a U-turn and show you the lovely seaside, which is now blocked by all the work that's going on. Yeah,
They're extending this ceiling to.
हाँ सर, वो कहते हैं कि they'll take it all the way between New Mumbai and Nariman Point. Let's see what really happens. There is no end date given for any construction work. Since Shah Jahan, the standards have been very different. I think, you know, कि बनाएगा, हो जाएगा. I don't know. Delhi always the first to get the metro firstly, so it's a.
Yeah.
I think if you can remember what it must have been like the construction work.
Absolutely.
I
was living here when this ceiling was being built, and all those flyovers from Kandivali all the way to Batra, they all were being built at one time. It was crazy. I used to come here to Worli sometimes, the head office being here. The only time was start 7 o'clock in the morning. Otherwise, don't come to Worli. Those were the days.
Yeah, actually, Worli is not the best place to be. You're caught both sides of the traffic.
Yeah.
Really.
And you used to go to those Mahim
to
church and all those days.
We have to tell people to buy electric. That's another reason. Because
Exactly.
you're spending so much time idling in traffic with a normal. I mean, we have Visarjan. Today is a Visarjan. I'm trying to hurry up the episode because I have to get out, drop people, etc., and avoid Visarjan. Mumbai, India is like this. We always don't have traffic jams. We can't escape.
2 minutes back, Cyrus, you were talking about environment and all. I think the younger generation actually sincerely care about environment now. But another interesting insight that we have picked up, and I think it's true, is that many people may not really be deep inside environment conscious, but they, being Indian, they want to
pretend to be.
Not pretend.
Dikhawat big cheez hai na.
They want to do it because they want to be seen as they care.
Yeah, correct.
And that makes them actually.
I'm one of them.
But
Jyoti, I'm one of those people, yaar.
No. But
then the insincere aadmi ho, you will not believe.
But then you start unconsciously starting caring about, because once you
Achha,
start pretending, you
so your
get
point
there.
is that by pretending you actually become it.
Slowly you become it. Yes.
Like, okay.
So if you have to pretend that I care about environment,
Huh.
and I'll not keep plastic bottles in my office and I'll only use glass bottles.
That's
Then
it.
you'll start keeping glass
Kya
bottles.
soch hai, brother?
When you will start using glass bottles, you will actually start using glass bottles. You will give up plastic.
Yeah, super.
So it happens.
So it's win-win. It's win-win.
It's
Sincere,
win-win.
sincere or insincere, ko maro goli.
You'll get there.
Yeah, you're still getting there.
Yeah,
He's
so
made a 10% change in his life.
Yes, and I think
Whatever the reason.
that's, I think, how you become the society as individuals more and more conscious.
But I think this government, whatever our problems are with all the various governments of India, they are making a little effort to, face environmental issues. Unlike one of the countries abroad where the president went berserk about no global warming, this and the other. I'm seeing both Western culture, India, all the big countries are now realizing that more or less there is no way to go but green.
Yeah. See, climate change is here. I think it's real. When we were kids, we used to hear about climate change, and we used to wonder what it is. Now we can see that temperatures are changing. Heat waves in Europe, we heard about it a few months back.
Yeah.
So this is happening. It's all around us. So if this can't make us and government conscious, what else will?
Correct.
The government is. And I think India has signed up for this climate pacts and all. As a company, we are talking about becoming a climate neutral company by 2040. So I think everyone is now talking about doing in their own way, small little bits, which will ultimately ensure that our next generation are safer. I think more than anybody else, I think we can now see it happening around us, and we should become conscious. I think that's happening all across.
And going back to your point about your karna, karke, it actually becomes like that.
Yeah.
So I'm using the wipers here, is a feature, because I want the rain to come. Correct? Huh, sir?
You want to manifest that, right?
Yeah. So I'm sort of auto-suggesting to karma and world.
Barish.
Barish.
Allah make de pani.
Yeah. Dekho barish ho rahi hai. It's raining. It's raining. It's raining. So, by the way, personally, which car do you like and which one do you drive out of your Volvo collection?
See, I am right now using S90. But I also recently, since we have a few of these XC40 Recharge also in the fleet, I have been starting using both cars off and on. But right now, basically, I own a S90 from Volvo.
How old are the kids?
My son is 21 and daughter is 18.
Okay.
My son is studying in Singapore.
Okay. No, so they're at an age where they'll decide the car also. I was thinking maybe वो सब important चीज है.
Yeah.
My daughter wants me to buy a plane. After our last experience of standing in a line and all that, I said, boss, I'll try my best. Yeah. But let's talk about your life a little bit beyond the cars now. So what is the life of an MD of a fancy company doing all this work? How do you unwind? What are your hobbies? What's fun for Jyoti Malhotra when he's not involved with business?
See, for me, I really love listening to old Hindi music, the Kishore and Rafi and all that stuff. That gives me
the best.
And
you name the two best ever. There's no question.
They are, I think, those retro, as they call it, retro for us, they are like evergreen.
Genius. Yeah, absolutely.
We call them evergreen. Now
I think we become those guys. हमने discuss किया offline. Have we become those guys who think अपना जमाना बाकी सब बेकार है?
लग रहा है ना?
Suddenly I'm thinking, I'm so happy to talk to you because I don't have to look left right. तो उस दिन एक podcast पे I met a girl who didn't know who Kapil Dev was. She was 22 years old from Delhi. And I just said, that's the end of India. I want to leave the country now. I'm now in a generation where you actually don't know who Kapil Dev is. You don't know this name.
Yeah.
I mean, there has to be a limit here.
Exactly. So I think music is what sort of really takes me there. The other thing I used to unwind, as you're asking me, I do a bit of meditation. Meditation means not in a typical yoga way. I need time to switch off myself. Right? Whether I'm traveling back home after office or maybe after a virtual call when you're free. What I do, I just sort of shut my mind off, think of nothing, and just relax and start to sort of take my mind, allow my mind to go. And
एक मिनट को भिखारी आ गया बीच में. देखो भाई, आप पेटीएम कर सकते पेटीएम.
QR code है क्या?
पता नहीं. Their fines are going up as we speak. So about meditations, people don't know this, but even the Stoic culture of Rome, I'm reading about them, Marcus Aurelius and all. We think it's an Indian concept or maybe Chinese to some extent, but it's very much Western concept as well. But the way you are putting it, not necessarily bringing God into it, but bringing an open mind to it. Exactly. And what is it? Restructuring and recleaning. It's a reboot. It's a reboot of your system.
It's a reboot. Yeah. And I think if you do it on a daily, especially during lockdown when we are doing this, working from home and doing all the virtual calls,
right?
You needed that. Sort of moving from one room to other. You can't suddenly shift from doing some work into your personal life. So I used to create this time for myself, and now do the same while traveling back home. So that's really unwinds me. Other than that, as we discussed, I think another thing which I love is cricket. And in India, and we all have our opinions about cricket.
Oh, and at the time of
all of
recording,
us.
we have a very huge debate that's going on. While we're recording this, of course, we're in the middle of Asia Cup.
Yeah.
And India's performed really well. But the question, of course, India is divided into pro Virat and anti. Not anti, but those who think he's too old or whatever. I am very pro. So what is your position?
Okay, so my daughter is a big fan of Kohli. Big, you can see, Jabra fan.
Fair enough.
Okay. And
fan ka asli matlab hai fanatic anyway. So a real fan is crazy.
She is. Right? She's 18 and she is like for Virat like anything.
Yeah.
Just to tease her, I keep teasing her that Virat ka time khatam. Virat ka time khatam ho gaya. Ye kuch nahi hai. Run a ball player hai. T20 ke layak nahi hai. Old hai.
So perfect.
Deep inside, I admire that guy. What he has done for Indian cricket, the attitude that he has brought in is fantastic. So, but I think now the time has come where he needs to give space to younger ones, especially for the T20.
For white ball, only white ball.
White ball, ODI is fine. T20, I think he should give to this younger IPL
That's the question. Does he belong in that top 3? Because you Surya Kumar Yadav ne kya बेहतरीन बल्लेबाजी किया उस दिन. But the point of the matter is they work together well, no? One batsman is going berserk, the other one is bad.
No, you need him. I think you need that maturity. You need those cold somebody to have that cool mind to sort of guide youngsters around you.
Right.
So I think we need him. I'm just saying. Teasingly, I keep telling my daughter that it's a time khatam, but Virat is Virat. I think he is.
I'm agreeing with you totally. I'm saying the Indians don't understand this all the time. It doesn't mean you're against someone when you're looking at it. You love cricket, you love the team, you love the sport, and you're looking at it from a point of view as a fan of the entire sport. It doesn't mean you're not a fan of Virat when you say, boss, maybe he doesn't belong in the first 3. But I still think up to T20 World Cup he must play, then they can make a decision. What do you think?
I agree. I think we need some mature heads, and I think he is now a senior pro in this team.
How come you guys want to get rid of our batsmen so quickly, but our politicians can bat till 93, 94? उसमें कोई retirement की उम्र को कुछ चीज है होता है नहीं. There's no MOU saying that 91 पे आओ.
Politician में 50, our age is young, na?
Yeah, that's right. बहुत जन्म हो जाता है, पैदा हो जाता है 50.
हाँ, right time to get there.
Yeah, in one party I won't take names. He's not yet born. Our contemporary. Yeah. So what is the future? Let's get back to cars now. What is the future with this whole problem in India? This is a generic question I wanted to ask you actually as we end the show. Gaadi to both hai. It's only getting more and more. I'm not too sure about Delhi, but in Mumbai, parking is horrible. I mean, horrible. It's just, you don't take out cars. You can't take out cars because you don't know where to put the car back. And in your working day, point A to B maybe, point C impossible. What's going to happen? Are we just growing too quickly? Are there too many car users? Are people buying second-hand cars and keeping them all over the place?
No, I think what is happening, as we were talking, I think a lot of construction we see around us, the cities are going to grow. They are going to, I think, adopt to this change. I think what has happened is, in last few years, when I say few, maybe last 10, 12 years, things have happened at a very exponential pace.
Right.
And the infrastructure hasn't caught pace with that. But what I believe is, India is catching up. Our infrastructure is catching up. Now you go in cities, you see, ad aata hai na? भारत पूरा कंस्ट्रक्शन हो रहा है. देश पूरे टाइम कहीं भी जाओगे कंस्ट्रक्शन ही हो रहा है.
That's true.
It's happening. But what will that lead to is, in few years from now, you will see that we are talking about smart cities, we're talking about smart cars, that will ensure that these sort of issues will go away to a great extent. Why? See, the modern cars, the future, we call it as a technology of V2X. That means vehicles can talk to anyone. Vehicle to everyone. So vehicles can talk to infrastructure. Vehicle can talk to other vehicles. Vehicle can talk to a pedestrian. So that's happening.
Communication is through phone and vehicle.
Yeah, the cars will become so smart. They will talk, and then they will figure out where the parking space is available. And I think future is also going to
I'm voting for you.
The future is also going to self-driving cars.
मैं वोट देता मैं अभी वोट देता मैं लिफाफा बनाता अभी. I'm giving it to you right now. You keep it. I know
heading there.
People shouted me कि elitism सोचते हैं गरीबों के बारे में this that and the other. But it's a huge issue for us. We live our life. Our life, I hate it. I get so much anxiety over car parking. My daughter, I have a problem now. I'm rushing our episode a little bit because I have to take her for chemistry and the guy wants leave now and it's Ganpati etc etc. तो उसमें क्या problem है कि आज almost छुट्टी है. So that means all the cars are parked in that area, which means now I'm going to have to find a car parking spot and hold it, fight with cops if they are around, all that. And these are very painful things that only fathers can understand. You may be MD of a huge company.
No,
but these bloody things just drive us mad. Yeah. So let's now, before we wind up, let's get back to the electric vehicle. This is the car, as you can see it. The features are fantastic. In fact, we had Hanoj in and he was taking us through it. You and I grew up in the exact same zamana. So we grew up with those cars where you had to use this with your hand, turn your back for reversing properly, look behind. Or ये panel, I mean, I thought I really have a problem with technology. I don't feel I can trust it. You know, यहाँ पे लिखा है Worli Seaface. I just don't believe in it. I need the proof of the actual thing. So do you think that we guys also have a problem adapting from our age group?
Depends. I think depends. I think initially yes, it takes maybe we might be a little slower than.
Sir, how do you
maybe younger
reverse?
ones.
How do you reverse?
How do you reverse?
मतलब तू पीछे देख रहा खुद देखता हूँ या इसमें या साइड में?
इसमें देखता हूँ.
इसमें देखता हूँ.
हाँ.
You don't turn the
अब मैं चालू कर दिया ऐसा देख.
Wow. और ये कैमरा वगैरह.
हाँ, ये सब मैं यूज करता हूँ पूरा. I use the camera and I use the Google Maps and all the maps that are there and I trust them. Started trust them. Yes, थोड़ा अपना दिमाग लगाना पड़ता है. Don't blindly follow Google Maps, especially in India.
India तो Google के Googly होता है इंडिया में कभी-कभी. The ball turns the other way.
It will take you to a street and you will realize, oh my God.
Google की गलती नहीं होता है सर.
Google की नहीं है वो. Google की नहीं है.
They didn't tell them कि अभी विसर्जन है आज तो ये one way हो गया.
नहीं, वो विसर्जन को छोड़ो. वो कोई दिन एक गली रहती है जो मतलब वो किसी तो मैप में दिखाता है कि 20 फीट है. वो 12 फीट है.
हाँ.
वो किसी ने क्या बनाया मालूम नहीं ना.
करेक्ट.
तो बेचारा वो गूगल तो उठा लिया उधर से ऑफिशियल मैप से.
तो ये डिटेल्स कहाँ से आते हैं? We are not sure. That's the problem.
Yeah, but I think now.
But having said that,
being artificial
going to Sonepat from Delhi, going to Sonepat, not having any idea, without a mistake, to a hotel in Sonepat without a mistake.
That will not.
But going from Mumbai, where I live in South Mumbai, going to Goregaon to find a studio, went to the wrong place. I mean,
today it happened when your office sent me a Google map location and just I was coming to SV Road and I knew somewhere here, but then it said take a left from the red light. I took a left and 10 meters later I realized something has gone wrong. So I came back. So अपना दिमाग चालू रखो.
Yeah, that's true. So Google has to catch up with India. It's that we are more advanced. Let's explain the situation. People can get problem in India करेंगे. You catch up.
But I think now these algorithms and all, they learn.
No,
next time it will learn.
My wife has adapted much better than me. We are same age. And the thing is, we went to Spain. She drove. Okay, she's comfortable with all this. I just start freezing. But I'm also a strange guy. I'm a unique person. Because I think people, like you said, you just learn by experience of doing it. See, now I like to look. I'm looking left to go. I'm trying to look through you. Not I should be using the side mirror. मुझे side mirror में भरोसा नहीं है. I have to look myself. That's a difficult habit to break. Sir, as we reach the end of the episode, I want to tell you what I feel about the car. It's a really good drive. I really liked it. And I would like to thank on behalf of all those who are watching the show and who will watch it over the years. I want to thank Jyoti Malhotra for giving me this car free because I didn't expect that. You know, free ride to एक चीज है, but actually to give the whole entire car like that, I mean, sir, क्या बात है, really. And on this auspicious occasion of Ganesh Chaturthi, going into Lakshmi season rather, where it's all about gifting and giving and, you know, dharma is karma, all that. So thank you so much, sir.
I'm sure, Cyrus, you heard about subscription. So your subscription is now
break
over.
My heart. Break
your
my
subscription is over.
Listen, pleasure talking to you and more power to you. What a fantastic idea it is, you know, to push the green vehicles. And I'm sure you're going to succeed. I don't think there's any option. An option to me. If the world is to survive, this is the one way. There's no point in thinking of any option.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And that's the episode, guys. We'll see you soon.
Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. Send us your questions on Twitter, on Cyrus Says In. Or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.